Welcome, everybody, to Sam Roberts. Now, it is the loneliest night of the week. It's the loneliest place anywhere. This is officially, they've just claimed this, the loneliest show on all of the internet. Welcome to Sam Roberts Now. I feel like it's been too long since we spoke, although I would hope that Sam Roberts Now is not the singular Sam Roberts product that you consume. But if it is, I mean, I guess more power to you. Maybe you only want me in sporadic doses. However, I know one person that nobody wants in sporadic doses. In fact, they don't want him in doses at all. But here he is, ladies and gentlemen, on the Samatron. Hot Dog is here. Welcome, Hot Dog. You look great.
Not sporadic, not small, not any kind of dose.
No
Maybe
dose.
In bulk. They want me in bulk.
They want you in that Diddy baby oil size. They want you in bulk.
Let me get 1,000 hot dogs.
Yeah. I don't know. He had 1,000 little Dominican assistants with him. It was very, very, very strange. Well, welcome to Sam Roberts Now. As you can see, I mean, we chronicled, Hot Dog, on our last visit, you trying to make your technical advances in your studio, because, of course, the greatest contribution you can make to Sam Roberts Now is the aesthetic of you.
Not any production on your end.
No help. Hey, what if we talk about this? I've never gotten that email. Sam, you should talk about this tonight. It's never happened. You know what email?
We'll let the producer figure that out. You know?
Yeah, you know what email I get? I get a text. Dog, wait till you see my shot on me tonight. I go, okay, all right, should be good. Should be good. That'll get the super chats rolling in. Well, I've made my own improvements. Can you see? I've the mic, the windscreen is a different color.
The big red mic.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet, because the old one, I don't know if it's around here somewhere, but it was getting like a little dirty. It's been the same one forever. And so I was like, it was bothering me because you could see it in the shot, like, the little lint and stuff like that on. I said, this is not professional. So I decided to get fun. I decided to get the studio needed more whimsy, I thought. It
is a little bit out of character.
A little more whimsical than usual. I mean, it matches, but it is, I felt, and I am a little bit insecure about it. Is it too much whimsy, do you think?
I think maybe next week you try just raw dogging it. No cover.
See, I think that looks so broke ass to me. When people have these mics, I mean, the covers are like $8, if that. It might be cheaper. Like when people have these mics, it's as if we know this place is falling apart. I've seen like radio stations that have mics like that. And that's when we know this place is falling apart, but we don't even care to go on Amazon and get a windscreen. Like it is what it is until everything just comes crashing down around us.
And then we'll panic afterwards. We'll worry about it later.
And then we'll go, I don't understand what happened. It must have been the industry. Oh, okay. Yeah. It must have been.
I think what you can do, you can start a trend where you start, how like you got to match your shirt with your shoes. You got to be stylish. Maybe you start getting every different color mic. Yeah. And then just have it match with your clothes.
Guess what?
Oh, see?
I mean, I'm stunting on you hoes so hard right now.
And it's a low key, like you didn't pull that out until I brought it up.
No, I didn't even think about it. I was like, of course we're flexing. We just flex. That's what we do.
Oh, I think that's what we got to do. I think you got to order a couple of different colors.
I think you're right. I'm just going to look at my shoes and go, I'm going to need that color. I'm going to need that color. Yes, I think so. Well, it's a big time right now. There's a lot going on. I'm sure you're mourning. Rest in peace to the lady from Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
What did she play? Snape? Dumbledore? What did she?
Professor.
You don't even know. You're such a. I knew you didn't know. No, you didn't know. I knew you're such a fake. I knew.
I didn't finish.
I knew if I brought it up. No, but the fact that you had to roll up, that'd be like any like wrestling thing. I'm not like who is Ultimate Warrior, I guess, right? Ultimate, was that who it was? Like, this is how I knew that was gonna happen.
Well, I'm a big fan, but it doesn't mean that I get it. I get the names all stuck in my head, all like on the drop of a dime. It took me a couple seconds.
Did you read the books?
I read 4 of the books.
And
there's 7. There's 7 of them.
What kind of a big fan stops at 4?
Because you don't have to. I'm a bigger fan of the movies than I am the books.
Wow. I mean, you're just a big fan.
Can you blame me? You were late.
No, I like movies in general better than books. A lot of times I go, I heard this book is good, but they just optioned it for a screenplay. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait because eventually there'll be a movie, and I'll get it. We can have a discussion then.
10-year-old hot dog had the same mentality.
Right.
I was reading the books before the movies came out, and then by the fourth one, when I was starting to become a teenager, I go, this book is so long, and I know they're gonna make the movie.
Right. That's where you go. You go, well, people are like, you got to read this book, and I'm like, if the book is that lit, it'll be a movie. I'll watch it then.
Right. It'll be worthwhile.
Yeah. How long did it take you to read that book? Because if it's more than 90 minutes, no, thank you.
I was reading it the entire summer. It was like 1,000 pages. I was a kid. You know, I'm trying to go out and have some fun.
Right.
Tombstone my cousins.
Right. Can you imagine giving your youth up to literature? You could be tombstoning cousins.
Yeah.
You could be that kid on the news report that's anti-WWE going, look at what happened in this home.
Couple of close calls.
Yeah. Well, okay. So rest in peace.
Rest in peace, though.
Dame Maggie Smith. You know, I haven't seen one Harry Potter movie ever.
Really?
My wife is offended by it.
Would you like show your kids at some point? Is Harry Potter a thing that is like generational?
You know why I wouldn't show my kids?
Why?
It's transphobic. I'm not doing it. This is like NWO Hogan, red and
Red
it's like listening
Hogan.
to the Jackson 5. Like if the Jackson 5 is completely fine. He's a kid. What could he have possibly done?
Yes, it's legal.
He couldn't have.
Whatever he
couldn't. Yeah. He couldn't have. It's impossible. He couldn't have done anything. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, look, I've been all mixed up. I've been so busy watching just the darkest shit on television. I haven't even gotten out to see that movie Substance, the Demi Moore movie Substance. I want to see it so badly. I mean, clearly not that badly. I haven't gotten off my ass and gone to a movie theater, but I haven't gotten to see it yet because I've been watching and reading all these terrible things. I spent all day. I mean, I feel like I'm just kind of coming out of the haze right now. I spent all day on Wednesday learning everything I already knew about Vince McMahon.
And what did you come away with?
Yeah, I know. He did WrestleMania and also some other stuff.
Maybe a little crazy.
He's a little nuts. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, hey, let's print it on the front page. I already knew that.
Okay, but it's not. I haven't watched it yet.
Don't say this thing that people are saying. It's not for wrestling fans. It's not for you. It's not for wrestling fans. Yeah, okay, right. Because they go, we're gonna make a 6-hour movie about Vince McMahon. We don't want it to appeal to wrestling fans. Oh, that's really good. That's very smart. Because you could go, well, what if we did something that would appeal to wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans? Then you're like, okay, that's like saying, I'm going to do a 6-hour documentary about George Steinbrenner. And hopefully the Yankee fans won't like it at all. And it's like, oh, cool. No, I don't even follow baseball. Let me watch this thing about George Steinbrenner.
No, I think an appropriate comparison would be if you made a murder doc about something that was in the news. Some people followed along very, very closely, know everything about it. But if you're making a Netflix doc for this thing, you want to appeal to the masses who didn't hear about this, haven't followed
Incorrect, because it's not even about that. It's just about WWE. They go like literally the whole first episode is like territories and WrestleMania and blah, blah. Like it's literally
Vince is WWE.
No, he's not. That's the whole point.
Was.
He clearly is a human being with a life. I want to know what's going on in his life.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm gonna watch it.
I'll reserve judgment until.
No. Once you told me this was like the whole deal with the doc, I decided it's probably a better idea for me to watch it with someone who doesn't know anything about wrestling, because maybe it'll be a more enjoyable watch. So I'm waiting until the missus gets here on Sunday, and then I'm gonna be like, hey, let's pop in Mr. McMahon. Let me show you what this whole world is about. And,
okay.
Let's explain kayfabe to you.
Right. That's what you watch? No, there was other stuff too. It wasn't it just wasn't. So I did a whole review of that whole series. That's on my Notsam Wrestling channel. So there's a whole video breaking down that series. But in the meantime, I turn off the things about the bad people and say, okay, what's going on? Let me just get some good pop culture news, right? Let me cleanse my palate, get some pop culture news. And who do I see? This guy.
So you went from bad men to bad boys.
Bad boys. P. Diddy, who now a law firm is saying that this law firm is saying they've got 50 victims in the cut. Like they've got it all waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, another 50? 50? That's so many. And they're like,
that's a lot.
And they're like 50 of all ages. And I'm like, oh, that's not and it's so funny because every photo, every piece of tape, everything about this guy is coming out. And you realize there was so much, like you talk about hiding in plain sight. So much of this, he was saying it and going like, this is what I'm doing. And here's a photo of it. And we were like, oh, that's just Diddy being wacky, right? He's not really like taking Justin Bieber away for the weekend.
He's a wild party guy.
That's all.
He's cool. Yeah.
And he makes fun stuff. He's not taking Justin Bieber away for the weekend. Right? He's not
right.
He's not getting legal guardianship over Usher. Right?
Now, weren't all these stories kind of around?
That's what I mean. They were around, but it was like, I think it was almost like, Diddy had made himself into such like a myth that you just would tell these stories almost as if they were legend. And every time you heard a Diddy story, you didn't consider it like, oh, this is really a reality that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now all the people that knew, no, I was there when it happened, all of a sudden they're very, very quiet. They don't have much to say at all. And the only one talking is 50 Cent because P. Diddy and who knows how many other people are so messed up. Like that stuff is so vile that 50 Cent is literally coming from a world where he was involved in gunfights and selling drugs. And he's like, I feel very... Why did the lights go out?
Shut off.
You got to see this. That's just insane. That's terrifying. I thought there was a power outage in my house. I went, what? What just happened?
Let me try to sort it out. Stop going through my teeth.
All right. Well, while Hot Dog tries to sort this out. I mean, you got people that are worried that their super chats are not going to your electricity bills. Hot Dog, this is bad.
It's because I made the stupid decision to be on battery mode and not plug it in.
Why? Why would you not? You're in your domicile.
I had no idea how. Oh, this doesn't look good. I had no idea how short the battery span was.
Just these giant bright lights. And he's like, I'm sure it'll last for a solid 90 minutes. Couldn't possibly be a problem. That is a Hot Dog situation. That's exactly what Hot Dog. Now he's just got to turn his room light on. All this work.
Yeah.
It's been weeks. All this work. And now he's just this weird, like you're all yellowed out. Now look at him now. He's all yellowed out. He's got dark circles under his eyes.
Because I white balanced the camera to this light. So this is a different light. So now I'm all yellow because it's not properly. I didn't put the gray card on.
Yeah, no. And you would have to find a plug to plug your light in.
No, it's too much. It's too much.
So this is you for the rest of the show. It lasted. It lasted 10 minutes.
Well, you learn, right? Now I know to just plug in the light instead of relying on the battery that lasted 30 minutes.
Remember when I said, I've said this before, because you're thinking this is absurd. What do you mean you learn? Everybody knows that. Hot Dog will never make a mistake twice. However, allow me to finish because he will make every mistake once.
I'm gonna try to brighten it up in here as best I can.
All right. Well, good luck with that. I mean, they're asking why not plug it in. Don't ask.
Oh no, because then I gotta find the outlet thing. It's we're gonna take this out. We're gonna be in. It looks like a Mexican filter.
Yeah.
That I have right now.
Yeah, like a sand, like a mosaic almost.
Yeah, a Breaking Bad flashback.
That's right. You're in Colombia right now.
Yeah.
You're young, Gus.
But please continue.
No, I know. You don't want to be a distraction.
No.
Yeah, that 50 Cent, with all the crime that he was associated with early in his career, like that was the thing about 50, is that he had all this credibility because he really came from that world. And he is out there going like, I will tell you everything. And I've been telling you everything because I don't do these things. I'm not afraid. Like, he acts like a person who's got nothing to hide, which is an amazing place to be, especially with the fact that, you know, he comes from a crazy ass life himself. He's got
to also be super confident that he's not going to have any dirt come up on him. So
and
he
I'm
must
sure
be really,
he's told everybody what happened.
You know, you make enough enemies, someone's going to come after you.
That's right.
So I'm pretty sure he might be good.
By the way, people are chiming in a lot about both P. Diddy and Hot Dog. Don't forget, every super chat will get read. Or acknowledged. Every super chat will get acknowledged on Sam Roberts Now. I saw some coming in before we even started. Those count as well. Every super chat gets acknowledged. So this was big to me. P. Diddy's lawyer said he was asked on the street, why did they find 1,000 bottles of lube in P. Diddy's house? Like, because he was going, you know, I just sat with my client all day and he's doing great. And the reporter, the man on the street, he goes, what's up with 1,000 bottles of baby oil that they found in Diddy's house?
Great first question.
And the lawyer was like, well, I don't know if it was 1,000, but so you already know there is a possibility. Because if it definitely wasn't 1,000, because that's absurd, the lawyer would say, well, that was a lie. That didn't happen. He said, hey, that means it was at least like 950. Like there was
800,
right?
Something. We're in the ballpark of 1,000.
Right, we're in the ballpark of 1,000. It was a high enough number that people wouldn't go like, oh, well, they exaggerated that. They're like, no, that's still the equivalent of 1,000 bottles of baby oil. His lawyer explains this by saying, well, first of all, Mr. Combs, he lives near Costco. 2 of his residences, I believe he said, are both near Costco's. And, you know, it's the American way to buy in bulk. People love, you know, the large quantities. I don't know if you've read this, Hot Dog. This is true. I looked it up because the thing about all this Diddy stuff is I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out what's news and what is just memes. Because everything that is actual news, the real news also becomes memes. But then some of it is just memes. Like there was a meme going around that said they found 700 dildos. That was just a meme. I haven't found any source.
That was a Troy Kwan. That was a Troy Kwan.
They got him. He came in and he asked about it. Yeah. No, that was just a meme. I've found no source behind that. But the lawyer, I watched the video. He did say, well, he lives near Costco. And then I saw this meme and I looked it up and it does appear to be true. Hot Dog, Costco has made a statement. Costco has replied to these accusations. They have said, we don't even sell baby oil. P. Diddy did not get that baby oil from us.
I don't know what Costco he's talking about.
No, nope. They want nothing to do with it. I don't know where he lives, but it wasn't from any of our stores. We don't sell baby oil at all, let alone by the 1,000.
Which makes you wonder, I mean, why not?
Now I want to put P. Diddy's lawyer on the stand. You said he got it at Costco. Well, I have Jim Costco over here, and he tells me they don't even sell baby oil.
My question is, what do you consider because people do buy like everything at Costco in bulk. Now, forget that it wasn't at Costco, but what do you consider a bulkish amount of baby oil?
24 baby oils is a tremendous amount, but it's like if we, like when we brought our son, who is a baby, who the oil is meant for.
Yeah, I didn't even know baby oil was meant for babies, to be honest. I thought it was
just lube up, squirt the baby oil on. Yeah, I mean, I think like if you bought a case of it and there were 24 in the case, I'd go, I mean, that's a ton, but I guess you want to buy it all at once and you'll never go back for more, ever.
We're good for the year? Or
at least, I mean, at least a year. Even for a year, that's 2 bottles a month, every month for a year. Are you going through 2 bottles? Because I'm not, when they say 1,000 bottles of baby oil, I don't think they're talking about travel size. No. I think P. Diddy had a room in his house that looked like a price gouger in the pandemic who had that garage full of hand sanitizer. Like he's got all that, but it's baby oil. And they go, what are you reselling this baby oil? He goes, no, that's for me.
That's tonight's inventory.
Yeah. And look, maybe part of it is because I was reading about these freak offs. I was very curious because they said part of the thing is that he would have freak offs, they said, where you'd
which I think that's going to take off. That's a great term.
Do you think that there will be
consensual
freak offs?
Freak offs they're gonna be the thing.
I could see 20 somethings in New York. Some of the people like, the happy hour crowd having an innocent freak off.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, probably some...
which is what Diddy alleged he was doing.
No. I've read about these are far from innocent. You needed an IV after these freak offs, they said. They said P. Diddy needed an IV after the freak off, and everything gets confused, because P. Diddy's been everywhere. The report says P. Diddy's freak offs were so freakish that he needed an IV drip the day after the freak off just to recover. And immediately somebody reposts an old Twitter video of P. Diddy, and he's making the video and he's got an IV in, except he's with his mom, and his mom has an IV in too. And you're like,
the mom?
Yes. With P. Diddy and his mom, and they both had IVs in. And now with all the information that we have, what choice do we have to believe other than his mom was invited to at least one freak off? And that's
Sam. Is there any context in the world or
by the way,
in the world where
that's I think his mom?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there any situation in the world where you would decide to go to a freak off, and then on top of that, you're like, I'm gonna bring Mama Roberts here?
That's a great question. Today or years ago?
At any point in your life.
Okay. Well, knowing what I know now, no, I would not go to a freak off.
It was a themed night.
All the pictures, every Diddy picture. These pictures used to be like, you would want to be in a picture. Over the summer, if the post was like, P. Diddy had a wild party last night, and you were a celebrity that was in the picture, you were the shit. It was like, look at me. I got invited to the Diddy party. I'm in the newspaper. Now, it's the same newspapers printing the same pictures, but it's a very different context. So now...
This used to be black excellence.
Yes! Now it's the opposite.
No.
Yeah. It's white hideousness. So
yeah, we switch. We're trading him over to you guys now.
Years, yeah. I don't know who. Yeah, we get him. I don't know who you guys get, but
it was Jelly Roll.
Yeah, okay. You guys are taking Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
So that doesn't. We fucked up on that trade, but it is what it is. I would probably have gone back in the day because I would have thought that it was the legend. Right? Oh, he calls it a freak off. This is going to be silly. It's going to be like silly. And then when I got there and I was like, oh my God. Oh no. This is really like a literal, like this is a freak off.
Do you know what he would be like as advertised?
Yeah. Do you know, like Usher apparently was like a nerdy kid. And like, I think he started hanging out with Diddy when he was like a teenager. Right? And P. Diddy like wanted to make him cool to be a recording artist. Do you know what P. Diddy threw that Usher went to when Usher was a teenager? Have you heard about this?
What?
Flavor camp.
Flavor camp?
Yes.
What is that?
So I think the idea is it's to learn how to have flavor.
Oh, flavor camp. I mean, I heard of that.
But contextually, with all this, flavor camp sounds like there was licking and stuff going on, right? Doesn't it?
Well, I feel like
when I just said flavor camp, the idea of having flavor didn't even occur to you. Yes.
Well, it depends. Like if Guy Fieri is hosting Flavor Camp, hell yeah, I want to go there.
Well, that's just any camp in Flavor Town is Flavor Camp. Yeah.
But now, if you're telling me Diddy's hosting it, I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned because I feel like the descriptions that he uses are quite literal.
Yeah, I didn't know how literal everything was.
Yes,
everything was very on the nose, and you're like, if you were being serious about everything, This is messed up, dude.
It's like, I've been telling you.
Yeah. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jesus. I didn't.
It was right there.
You were, yeah. Yeah. They're saying that P. Diddy is, he's in jail. They won't give him any bail because apparently he could be a flight risk and also like intimidates witnesses. It's a thing, and also like, let's be 100% honest. Can we just be honest here, Hot Dog? This is what we do on Lonely Friday, right?
I'll allow it.
Am I the only one kind of re-examining how I feel the Tupac and Biggie murders happened? Am I the only one that's recontextualizing that as well?
No, you're not the only one.
Okay.
But I would say, how much power do you think he had back then?
A lot.
Because, the freak off era probably didn't jumpstart. If I had to guess, it was when Diddy was like a mainstream guy.
Number one, he had a billboard in Times Square in the early 2000s. That wasn't that far removed, like 96, 97. P. Diddy was the man, and he was able to sign the biggest artists and be all up in a song, all up in a video. There were people who didn't come to death row. That's how powerful Diddy was. Can you imagine if I started a record label and I signed like a rapper on the level of Biggie Smalls, and I was like, okay, but here's the deal. I'm going to throw my voice all over this song. Biggie would be like, what? No, you're not.
Hey, if you're paying for it, I'm paying for this. I mean, what option do you got?
That's true. He's like, well, no, there's a guy who just said, if we didn't want somebody all up in the song, all up in the video, we could go to death row. I'm like, all right.
It's just this bald white guy all up in all up in my music video. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand. No, I think Diddy was very, very powerful back then. Very powerful.
Okay. I mean, I was a kid, so
he found a Bad Boy. Bad Boy Records was huge. Biggie was enormous, and Diddy.
Diddy. Yeah, no, I'm not arguing he wasn't big, but I'm saying there's levels to it. There's like there's Black Album Jay-Z, and then there's billionaire Jay-Z. There's so maybe like that started off once he felt he was secure enough to.
I'm a little concerned. Do not bring up that name in any Diddy conversation.
Okay,
I don't want any association being made whatsoever. There's a lot on the table there of my enjoyment. Okay, and I don't even want to talk about the idea of taking that off the table.
Do we want like some blissful ignorance kind of thing? I feel like
I don't want to talk about it. I don't. I feel like we can't. So you better show me some very hard evidence, and if not, I don't want to hear those two conversations. You find another comparison to make, because I don't want it associated whatsoever.
I'm just saying we've lost a good amount of bangers when we lost R. Kelly. Now the jury's out. I don't know if I could. Are we allowed to listen to any? Are we allowed to listen to any Diddy song? And are we allowed to listen to any Diddy produced song? The production, he was all up in it.
Yeah, the production and in the video too. Don't forget, the production gets me, because I was sitting there. I was having this thought. I go, can I turn off Mo Money, Mo Problems right before he says D to the I to the DDY? I know you'd rather see me die than see me fly. By the way, that lyric is more true now than ever. He was telling you right there. Like, trust me when I tell you, when you find this shit out,
keep me in bail. Don't.
This is what you're going to want. But then, I thought the same thing. He produced it. However, songs like that, and even Juicy, like he produced Juicy, but it's really just a sped up sample from another song.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's a whole catalog. It's Biggie's whole catalog.
Right. How about the Biggie tribute? What do we want to tribute Biggie? We can't tribute Biggie no more.
Missing You's off the table. Because I'm suspicious. What can I tell? I'm trying to be honest. What can I tell you? I know. When Kanye was at the height of his anti-Semitism, I was like, okay, how much Kanye is off the table now? Because he produced half the blueprint.
You got to hear it on the side.
Yeah, H to the Izzo's off the table?
I think we're in trouble.
We're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble.
So it's not just.
What about 112? Can we still listen to 112?
It's not just these celebrities who got abused who are the victims. If you think about it,
well, I don't. Nope, not saying that. So
we've all been affected.
Nope. Now Ben Stiller's in the video for D to I to D, the D, the Y, the D, the I, the D. It's Diddy. Is Ben Stiller out too?
No. Ben Stiller is
because he's a Knicks fan. You like him?
Yeah, he can't. He's like, I think he's like in Tom Hanks territory. We just don't.
He might get drafted over. By the way, Ben Stiller.
So we're drafting him.
I think maybe.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! We'll take him.
I think maybe. So Diddy, they won't let him out. You know, he's not getting bail, and he's in a protective custody section of this jail that he's in. It's a very, very serious jail. But the rumor is
of the elites,
right? The rumor is that not only is he in the same jail, but he may or may not actually be cellmates with Sam Bankman-Fried from the Bitcoin. Sam Bankman-Fried, you know, the Bitcoin swindler. Which,
yes,
if the two of them are in there having conversations, there's two things that freak me out about that. Number one, just the idea that they're in there together is nuts. But number two, the idea that even somebody that high profile goes to jail. And where did you go this time? Was that him again?
I have no idea what happened. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, you're the worst. See, this is like, I say hot dog, forget it. Like, this is why I don't have him do my stuff. He can't even do his stuff properly. I have never seen a stream that ends up in color bars. I mean, that's crazy. I don't even know. Is this like an old school technical difficulties graphic? This is the hot dog camera that we're on right now. That's what we see. Color bars. I mean, I don't even, you're going to have to go back to your webcam. Flip it over to your webcam. People. You just have a room full of useless equipment. Like, you know what you could do? You could, because you have like a little bit of outdoor space at your building, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, what if you made like tonight? It could be nice because the weather's kind of nice. What if you dug a hole and got several $1,000s in cash, put it in the hole and just lit it on fire and just had a nice bonfire? At least then you could hang out, you know?
Okay, I got an excuse for this one as well.
And of course you do. People love excuses.
It is the same excuse as the other one. Neither of these things are connected to.
Why wouldn't you plug things in? I've never fathomed. You're in your domicile. You're in your home. Why wouldn't you plug things in before you start?
Well, yeah, I mean, the camera was also running on battery.
Why? There's no reason for the camera to run on battery.
You know what? I kind of said it and then I just forgot it. So I forgot that this thing needs a charge, and also, I have it right here. There's an outlet right here. I could just connect it. 4
cameras in here. I don't even put the batteries in them.
Yeah.
Why would I? They stay here.
Last week I learned the lesson, and this week I'm learning connect all of your equipment straight.
Hato, you're not about this life. You're not about this life. You got to understand. That's what you have to understand. You so badly don't want to be the kid with a shitty microphone and a laptop camera, but that's who you are. Okay, that's who you are.
We've evolved to this throughout just this one show. We've evolved to a okay quality stream to back to this.
It's taken no time at all, and I guarantee I'd be surprised if those wireless headphones make it through the whole show.
And it might not. I'll be honest.
Why not?
I gotta put some Duracell batteries on this bad boy before they come out.
He gets the SM7B because he wants people to think he's a pro.
Don't worry, we got it.
B&H loves you. Oh, Mr. Hot Dog, let me show you our newest product. It does what you say? Can I pay it in increments?
Oh, it takes battery. I'm guessing I never have to charge this.
Oh, I just set it up, and what's the interest rate on that? 17%. I'll take it.
By the way, Sam, it's 0%.
0 is what you should be paying for this stuff. 0 is the use you get out of it.
I mean, it's a user error, and I apologize for being very unprofessional.
It's a loser error, is what it is. So anyway, he's in jail. You know, he's hanging out with Sam Bankman-Fried in jail. That's what they're saying. I get freaked out, though. Here's the second reason I get freaked out is because the idea that there's a rumor that this is the cell that Diddy's in, but nobody can say for sure. That freaks me out so much that, like, for Diddy, this is his day-to-day life. And to people outside, nobody knows for sure what's going on in there at all.
We haven't seen him.
Nobody knows. We know.
Was there even footage of him going into the cell?
No. Do you think I wanted to put this photo up? No, I wanted a mugshot. No.
Isn't that kind of weird?
It's weird.
Usually there's press all over the place outside.
Something.
You get something.
All we've got is his lawyer lying about Costco. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And
strange.
I read today, apparently, D to the I to the DDY is not eating. He's not eating. He said that he's worried that his jail food is going to be poisoned, which again leads me to believe one of two things could be true or both, which is either there are people who want him silenced because, you know, there were a lot of important people at these parties, or there are people who want revenge for certain actions that happened in 1996-ish. Don't know.
I'm going to cross off revenge because if someone wanted that, they would have done it by now. Diddy's been all over the place.
He's got a lot of power. Been around the world.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you have enough, don't do that. Don't do that.
Sorry.
If you have enough power to get Diddy to be poisoned in a prison cell, I'm sure you have enough power to just do that when he's outside as well.
I forgot you're a criminal mastermind.
Yeah, I am. I watch enough Discovery ID.
You do. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. So, you know, we'll see. I never understood because I heard about it. You always hear these stories, right? So-and-so was having a sex party. This one was having a sex party. That one was having a sex party. Who has time for all these sex parties? First of all, what is a sex party? Because they did say that the freak-offs, sometimes they'd be organized. And this might be why he had 1,000 bottles of lube. Because some of the freak-offs were like, oh, I want to do it like today. Like, I want to do a freak-off today. And calls would just have to be made.
They're pretty normal, especially here in
sex
New York.
Parties?
Yeah.
You ever been?
I've been invited
to a sex party.
That's how casual it is. They're not inviting me because, oh, hot dog's so hot, we need him in there. It's more of a, hey, you want to come to the sex party?
They told you it's a sex party?
Yes. They call it something else. You know, they call it like a little fancy term. I forget what the term is, but
so even like, because this isn't a celebrity sex party. You're like, even the nickel and dimers are doing sex parties. The ham and eggers are doing sex parties.
No, there's like, let me see, like, there's a very like famous Brooklyn sex party organization, and it's like people of all walks of life are there.
Lou thinks you're totally lying.
Lou, I call BS. I have been.
Honestly, I'm going to tell you, Lou, and everybody else watching, the reason that I have so many follow-up questions is I also think hot dog's lying.
Okay, it's the
who would invite hot dog?
The Hacienda club is a sex club in New York City in Brooklyn.
Okay, no.
Yes,
there's a difference between throwing a sex party and going to a sex club.
I mean, they have sex at those clubs.
No, that's not the same thing.
Yes. What do you mean?
That's somebody going. That's like being invited to a strip club. That's not the same thing.
No. There's literally rooms designated for people to have sex, and you could have multiple people.
Like a champagne room.
Yes, there's that. There's security guard. There's people there to make sure that if you yell out a word.
I'm talking about people who throw sex parties. Like this is what we're doing tonight. I'm getting a whole bunch of people over the house. We're going to have a sex party.
Okay. I was just saying it's not the weirdest thing in the world. That's all I was saying.
Sex parties are very weird. They are one of the weirdest things in the world. I mean, there's like underwater creatures, I guess, that are a little weirder, like the microscopic ones, or like the ones that live like way under the water where like the pressure, like those look really weird too. But like sex parties are very weird.
I mean, yeah, I'm partaking in it, obviously.
Yeah, right. It sounds like you do, because you're really normalizing it right now.
I'm just saying it's not this like whoa.
There are some people that are theorizing it's MMF freak offs. It's male, female.
It's a perfect ratio. It's a 2-to-1 ratio of men and female.
I don't know. It's like when you're putting syrup in a drink, you know. It's not very flavorful. A little more. I usually like a 2-to-1 ratio here. No, I mean like these like Diddy, like
yes,
throwing these like huge, elaborate, multi-day sex parties. I feel like at some point you'd go like, I should be doing something else. Like what am I doing? Like there's so much.
It's just nasty.
Well, it's disgusting. First of all, you're right. But like the idea of throwing it, not the idea of like, okay, this sex club exists. I'm inviting you to sex club. I understand that.
Yes.
But I'm busting your balls a little bit, but I understand that. I more mean the idea of like people that are so wrapped up in this thing that they need to put tons of effort and energy and time into turning their life into that. And it's like, dude, what do you like? Aren't you like busy? Like you're a mogul, right?
Is there's one thing that you've learned in the last couple of years, that all these moguls and billionaires, they're not that busy.
They're really not. All these hustle guys, all these hustle guys, they all tell you they're hustling. But let me tell you something. If you have time for multiple in-home sex parties, you're not a hustler.
You're not that busy.
Because I can't imagine. Like not that I would ever do it, but just in my regular schedule, blocking out the time for that.
Could you put it in?
There's no way. I couldn't. I mean, I'm thinking in the last month when there should be no time for even one freak off. It's crazy. Like
it's a bummer, dude. You should fix that.
And I'm just trying to feed these kids. I'm not, maybe I'll, once you hit billionaire status or something, it's a different deal. But I would have thought they'd be so busy and working hard and running companies and producing records and doing everything that like, I'd be like, even if you wanted to do this, even if you wanted to have some time for freak offs, there's just not enough hours in the day.
Maybe this is the secret to being so successful and such a hustler. You need to vent it. You work so hard. You're a billionaire. You get 3 hours of sleep. You got to vent it out. How do you do that?
Well, why don't you get more sleep? First of all, this idea of like, no, I only have time for 3 hours of sleep a night. Well, if you did less freak offs, you could sleep so much more.
A freak off could last maybe like sleeping is 8 hours. A freak off could be maybe 4. So
he said these freak off. I mean, if you need an IV after a freak off, it's way more than 4 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we're talking IVs here. Okay, this is real deal.
It's a marathon.
Yeah. And I'm saying if you're sleeping 3 hours, even if you're going to do a 4-hour freak off, if you're sleeping 3 hours and you do a 4-hour freak off, you could have had 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, one's more fun. One is a lot more fun than the other.
You talking about the freak off?
Yes.
All right.
According to him, not to.
Well, you wouldn't know. I mean, you weren't there.
I know.
How would you know, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, man. And then when I'm like, okay, all right, let me get some relief from all the bad news, all the people, having terrible, horrible things happening to them. You know what? I want to watch a scripted drama. That's what I want to watch. A scripted drama. I can get my mind off of all the terrible things going on in the world. Yes, let me watch the Menendez Brothers show. Erik and Lyle Menendez have their own TV show. And yes, I want to watch it. Are you casting judgment on the Menendez Brothers hot dog?
No, I'm saying you are a psychopath.
Oh, because I keep watching this stuff?
Yeah, that's how you relax.
It is. Monsters is technically the second season of the Ryan Murphy show, Monster, which really, these are all the same show, just about different things. Like it's so obviously Ryan Murphy every time. American Crime Story, Monster, American Sports Story, like all the based on a true story Ryan Murphy series are all the same show. I feel like he's got a deal to make multiple series. And so he just picks off the same show and goes, well, check that. Yeah, that's Monster. That's this. That's that. That's that. And that's how he's able to make, like Ryan Murphy's a one. Like he makes so many TV shows. Who would have time for a freak off? I would think. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm naive.
I would hope his name is not going to show up.
I wouldn't think, but I'm naive. So as I was saying, Monsters is season 2. Of course, Monster season 1 was a hit. That was the Jeffrey Dahmer show with Evan Peters. Did you watch Monster season 1 or you didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it, but I
Too
know
much for you. Too much for you.
I'm too busy. I'm a mogul. I don't have time for this.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. You're too busy buying battery-operated electronics. Well, he came back to Netflix. He got he's like, and another one. I got another one for you. This one is called Monsters. And instead of following a serial killer, it follows the story of Erik and Lyle Menendez, the Menendez brothers, who in 1989 killed their parents with shotguns, cold blood, in their home. It became a huge story throughout the early 90s because it took years, their trial and everything. At first, people believing that this was done because they wanted to get the money. The Menendez family was a very, very wealthy family out there in Beverly Hills. And that was another thing that made this such a spectacular case, that it was out there in Beverly Hills where none of this crime was happening at the time. This was years before OJ. This is before all that stuff. So the fact that this murder had happened in Beverly Hills had everybody talking, and they didn't know it was the Sons at first. The Sons were trying to make it seem like it was some kind of mafia hit or something like that, where maybe the dad, who was, again, one of these mogul types making a lot of money working in the home video industry, was mixed up with the wrong people, and they came to get some revenge on him, something like that. That's the story, I think, that they were hoping would get through. And, eventually people started getting very, very suspicious of them because they kind of snapped. And after the will was read, they spent a ton of money. I mean, I'm talking $700,000 in weeks. Like they bought cars, they bought Rolexes, they bought outfits, they bought properties, trips.
Like it was going to expire.
Yeah. They just spent to the point that they bought courtside tickets to see the New York Knicks play. And I forget the name of the player. We just mentioned it on Jim and Sam. But on his basketball card, you can see Erik and Lyle Menendez in the front row. That's true. Yes, it's become very, very collectible. But, the police and a lot of people started getting very suspicious of their spending habits, going, what are these guys doing? This murder is still unsolved. They seem to really be enjoying all this money. This is an odd way to mourn, the police thought. And then I guess Erik, the younger Menendez, he snapped. It was too much for him. The guilt was too much for him. He went and spoke to a therapist, told him everything that had happened. Lyle came in. He said, what do you mean you told the therapist? He's like, yeah, I told the therapist everything. The therapist started recording the sessions because he said he needed to record the sessions for his own insurance. Right, just to make sure nothing happened to him, I'd like to record the sessions. Nobody will hear them. However, the therapist had kind of a mistress, and the mistress was a little wacky, a little loopy in the head. So she went crazy one day when she was like, what do you mean you won't marry me? Something like that. That's what the show portrays it anyway. And the mistress went and told the cops, hey, this therapist has tapes of these kids confessing to the murders. And the cops were like,
is that how that went down?
Yeah, Jesus. And the cops were like, that's exactly what we were looking for. And so they went in and swarmed his house, and they got all the tapes, and these two got locked up, and there was a trial. Now, the trial is where it got very, very interesting because, of course, at first everybody was obsessed with this case because patricide is something that it doesn't happen very often. Children killing their parents, especially in Beverly Hills, especially, when you're talking about that much money being thrown around, you just never hear these stories. And so people got obsessed with it. They thought it was about the money, and the more stuff came out, accusations of assault, molestation, all kinds of terrible stuff that these parents were doing to these kids. And these two had their defense was, look, he had been abusing Lyle, the older one, from the time Lyle was up until 8 years old. And Lyle said, you have to stop now. And the dad said, okay, I'll stop. But what Lyle didn't know was he went over to Erik. And Erik never told him to stop because he was too scared. And so he, abused Erik for years and years and years and years and years. And there was a confrontation where they said, you got to stop this. We're going to tell everybody, you got to stop this. And they thought their defense was that they thought their lives were in danger. They thought that the parents were going to kill them because they were going to, put this all out there, put it on blast. And
how old were they when this happened? When the murder happened?
They were in their 20s. They weren't kids.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was the defense. They ended up first going to trial, and it was a no contest. It was a hung jury. They didn't know which way to go. I guess these are spoilers, but it's a case, it's a true life thing. This is just kind of the
history.
This is kind of the basics, right? And then they had a second trial. The second trial was not televised. The second trial was after OJ. There was a lot of factors into it, but they were found guilty in the second trial. I say it was after OJ because after OJ in Los Angeles, they were finding criminals guilty. Like, OJ got away, but he's the last one that's getting away. Yeah. Like, everyone's getting found guilty now. Yeah.
Lock this shit down.
Yes. So they were found guilty, but instead of being sentenced to death, they were sentenced to life in prison. That was 25 years ago at this point, more or less. And maybe almost 30. And they are still in jail now, still alive, and still fighting their case and saying that they're still, steadfast that it was self-defense. They're still steadfast that they were abused, all of this. So,
how graphic was the murder?
Very graphic. Like it was multiple shots, shooting at the kneecaps, shot their mom's face off. Like, yeah, I mean, it was like they reloaded. They had to reload, and they did it in the living room. Like the parents were watching TV, and then these two came in and did what they did. But yeah, I mean, they said like that was part of it. That was part of the case was how grisly it was, and that like Lyle, I think it was Lyle, reloaded his gun while they were in there. So it was
right, because you could maybe make a defense or an argument that it was a defense thing if it wasn't as graphic. Maybe there was like one shot or something, but that seems pretty far-fetched with that situation.
Yes. Well, yeah. So they want, like, that was their thing. They were like, well, this was clearly, but then at the same time, the defense could say, well, the reason that's why, because if it was just about getting money from their parents, they probably would have made it quick. But if there was real like abuse that had taken place, all that was coming out in this action. So you could probably balance those facts on either side. Now, Erik Menendez, I believe, has said that he does not like this show or the way they were portrayed. He's not in favor of it, which I'm like, which jail gets Netflix? Because that's awesome. Like, I can't believe this guy
gets on a screener.
Like, he's in jail for murder and he's just watching Netflix. Like, I don't know, man. That seems like it's not that bad. I mean, nobody wants to go to jail, but I mean, if you just have Netflix, it's like,
or maybe Netflix just gives them the courtesy of sending them a little screener beforehand.
Maybe for your consideration, maybe they're SAG-AFTRA. Like, hey, did my screeners get here this year yet? The awards are coming up. I got to vote. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that's what Ryan Murphy is saying, that he's like, yeah, I heard him say that. It's sad because he hasn't seen the show. He's in jail, so I don't know why he thinks that. But now, as far as the show goes, it's good. Obviously, I watched it all. I went through it. I was almost going to say blasted through it, but that didn't seem like it was in good taste. I went through the whole show in a weekend. The acting is insane. Like, the acting is so good. Both these guys do an excellent job. Like, Lyle comes off as like, this sort of coked up half the time, like always with a plan, always like, oh yeah, we got to do this. Come on, we got to do it. We're going to do it, and Erik is like this kind of wounded puppy type that just needs to be taken care of. Chloe Sevigny plays their mom, who does a great job, and Javier Bardem plays their dad. And dude, he is unbelievable. This Javier Bardem, I would watch the show just for his performance as an actor, because I mean, it's nuts. Now, what they do in the show is they fully acknowledge that there are multiple sides to this story and that we're only taking people's words for it. So in the reenactments and stuff, and I say reenact, but dramatizations, it's a show, it's not a documentary, but like they show the things that Erik and Lyle say happened, but then they might show the exact same scene from another perspective and nothing happens. Right. And it's their way of saying, make up your own mind. But man, and Javier Bardem, I'll just say this. Acting has to come from somewhere, and I would not want to get on that guy's bad side.
He's amazing in everything.
He's unbelievable.
He's also a scary looking dude.
You should see him in this. He's like that prototypical Hispanic dad who puts up with nothing. Nothing. I mean, just open hand. And he got them big, thick hands. You got them big, thick meats, the meaty palms, and just boom. And you're like, oh. Yeah, he's amazing. Javier Bardem is great. There's some really spectacular things in this show. Episode 5, I think it's episode 5, one of the episodes, like midway through. Now, look, one criticism, most Ryan Murphy shows are like 2 episodes too long. You know what I mean? Like most Ryan Murphy seasons could probably be cut down by an episode or 2. Like it starts to stretch in the middle and then usually picks up again at the end. But there's one episode, I think it's episode 5, where it's like a 45-minute episode or something like that instead of an hour. But it appears to all be one shot. There's zoom in and out and stuff like that, so you could have cheated a little bit. But the entire episode is basically a monologue where Erik Menendez is telling his lawyer what happened to him. And it's an incredible episode. Because the thing about it is, if 30% of what those guys said is true, of what happened to them by their father, if 30% of it is, he is a monster. Like, and in my opinion, after watching the show, and obviously I was very familiar with the case before the show, and I've watched like interviews and looked at real life stuff, I do think that they were abused. If you want to get into specifics, it's hard to say, but like, it's tough for me to believe that they made the whole thing up. It's tough to believe that it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, and it's so graphic and so brutal, and the idea that they would want to keep it a secret is far more easy for me to believe than they would just make it up. Because, they're from this, like, not only is it, they're guys in the late 80s living in LA. They got that machismo, and that's what they grow up around. You don't want to admit that these things have happened or are happening to you, know?
And did they ever have, because I'm not familiar with them or the case, did they have a history of anything else before that?
No. Well, I mean, not violent crime. Like they got in trouble for robbing. They did like robberies and stuff like that. Like, rich kid crimes. Rich kids that weren't disciplined and need to,
Rich kids just commit robberies?
Hell yeah, dude. You don't hear about you didn't even see the bling ring?
No.
Bro, rich kids are the worst.
I believe that.
Yeah, they rob houses and sell drugs all the time. They need excitement in their lives because their backs aren't against the wall at all. Like, at all. They got no problems. So they got to create something.
Some kind of drama.
The rest of us are trying to figure it out. They're good. No, they got to figure something out. Yeah. So that was, episode 5 was really, really good. It's a little, I will say there are moments, Ryan Murphy is a very stylized guy. And there are moments where it feels like he's trying to set something up where you're almost shipping these two, even though they're brothers. And I'm like, what is that? Like, and it's almost just like an energy. You're like, it's off-putting. It was off-putting. I was like,
Ryan, so that one's for me.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember that being a part of the trial either. Wait, are we shipping Erik and Lyle Menendez?
that would be funny to like create a really true to life story, like drama, and then just add a weird shipping component.
Yeah,
like a gay romance or something.
Yeah, that's right. But with the brothers, I'm like,
between brothers,
huh? What are we doing?
Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, but it's like 95% accurate.
Yeah,
I just needed to like,
with each other.
Yeah.
Yes. Trust me.
Based on true events.
Even that part? Yeah. Just, let's go. Let's keep it moving. They do a really good job in terms of stylization. They do a really good job of like having that kind of late 80s feel with the culture of it all, the music. Lyle kind of has a Patrick Bateman thing about him, where he's very sort of into his, and this is in the show. I don't know about real life, but this is how he's portrayed in the show, where he's very into his appearance, making sure he's wearing the right things, saying the right things, loves
exfoliating.
Yes. Loves pop music. Pop music is a big thing. Like they were playing some 80s song this is why I remember to talk about it today. They were playing some 80s song in the bagel store this morning. And I was just thinking about the Menendez Brothers. And I was like, I'm trying to get a bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm sitting here thinking about the Menendez Brothers. Obviously, it's effective.
You need a reset.
I don't know, bro. I think this is me. Yeah. They also, the money excuse, I think doesn't fully make sense. There are various reasons why it's like, well, if they wanted the money, it would have made more sense to do it here, to do it this way, to do it that way. They didn't really know what they were getting. I will say, because all these Ryan Murphy shows are so stylized in the exact same way, it feels like they come from the same universe. And I do feel like Ryan Murphy could start like his own true crime cinematic universe, the way Marvel did.
Yeah.
Right.
Or how Shyamalan did with his character.
Right. Where they all except it's from real life. And I think people would pop big for it. Like something I didn't know was that with the Menendez brothers, the first attorney they went to was actually Robert Shapiro. Now, they didn't stay with him. He ended up leaving. Their family fired him. But he was first brought on by them. He did meet with, I think it was Erik or Lyle, in jail and talk to them. And there is a scene where Robert Shapiro does this. Now, we know Robert Shapiro from the OJ case, of course. He was OJ's attorney. In true crime, in American Crime Story, Ryan Murphy's show, John Travolta plays Robert Shapiro incredibly. It's like my favorite thing John Travolta's ever done. Just walking around, I would have popped. When I realized Robert Shapiro was walking into the room, I'm like, oh my God, Murphy, if you fucking put John Travolta in that room, even if it's for one scene in one episode, you'll be goated. And he didn't. It wasn't Travolta.
But you missed that opportunity.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And there's even more of a connection because the same way Diddy and SBF are best buddies in jail right now, when OJ first went to jail, apparently not only was he in the same cell block, but he was in the cell next door to Erik Menendez. And there's a scene in the show where you don't see OJ, but you know it's OJ because the guards are like, whatever you need, Juice, you let us know. Like, they love him. They're so nice to him. They've been shitheads to everyone else throughout the series.
They're like, hey, we know you ain't do it.
yeah, that's exactly. That's the whole energy. And then they just look at Erik Menendez and leave. So, like, but then Erik, it's a kind of a funny scene. Like, Erik, like, leans to the cell next door and he goes, OJ, if I could give you any advice, take the plea deal. And OJ, like, talks back to him. But, like, even if it was just Cuba Gooding Jr.'s voice and it was the same OJ, like, do you know how great that would be?
So you prefer, or not prefer, but like you would enjoy it if like he abandoned a little bit of integrity with these projects and then just created his own universe,
cinematic universe
for the cheap pop, because that's the only reason
you got to have the pop. You got to have the pop. What could possibly be more important than the pop? Look, if you're gonna put like Milli Vanilli in this show and like hey now, do, 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 you can give me some pops too. You know what I mean? If you're gonna ship Erik and Lyle Menendez, and don't tell me you weren't, because I think you were. But if you're shipping in this for you, make a cinematic universe for me, a true crime cinematic universe. It'd be awesome.
I couldn't say it wouldn't pop me, but I feel a little bit dirty afterwards. Like, what, did he just?
I mean, look, we're watching a Ryan Murphy show about the Menendez brothers. If you feel clean after that, you're doing some nasty things in your life. If you feel clean after that,
some freak offs.
Exactly. P. Diddy's
probably watching these.
Yeah, he's watching it with popcorn. I'm sitting there watching it, hoping my wife doesn't wake up. She's sleeping on the couch next to me, hoping she doesn't wake up, because if she does, she'll go, "What the hell are you watching?" No.
I'd be worried. I would be worried every time I woke up.
It's my life, dude. It's hell.
You're just watching some serial killer or murderer or something.
It's every night. It's all the nights.
It would scare me.
And I go like this: "Hey, how about you don't judge me? How about that? This is mainstream consumer media, okay? But you're the one with the problem. Let's get the gaslighting going."
But the idea is, one, that this is how you relax at the end of the day, because you're a busy guy. So this is how you wind down. You're, chilling before you go to bed. And also, you've acquired so much knowledge from all of these murderers throughout all of these shows that you watch.
What to do. Oh, I know what to do. I know what not to do too. Oh, trust me.
You know, like, the best and worst of everything.
She's like, "You're watching The Staircase again?" I'm like, "Yep." Blame it on the owl. Blame it on,
Just sees you writing notes on your pad.
Are you making what are you going to do, a show about this? No.
Show prep.
And by the way, that's like literally, that's how I watched the Vince doc, with my pad and my pen, making notes as I was watching. It's not an uncommon thing.
No, I know it. That's what I'm saying. I envision you also watching some of these shows.
Watching the Menendez brothers with a pad and a pen.
That is so creepy.
It's 100% likely a scenario that you would see. Yes. I mean, look, literally, there's 2 notebooks, right? They're full. I got notebooks everywhere in this house, okay?
Yeah.
I got all the information.
I know. It's a little unsettling, so I'm saying.
Yeah. It's for entertainment purposes only. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you leave the show going, who are the monsters? It's called Monsters, plural. You think it's about Erik and Lyle. Who are the monsters? Is it Erik and Lyle? Is it the parents? I guess ultimately that's up to all of us, isn't it?
Is it all of them?
Could be all 4. Who knows? Maybe maybe monsters create monsters. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I would recommend it. It's a good show if you like that sort of thing. True crime. It's like, if you like sensationalized true crime, it is sensationalized, but if you like sensationalized true crime, yeah. And if you like Ryan Murphy, you kind of know what you're getting at this point with Ryan Murphy, right? Your girl likes horror movies, doesn't she?
Yeah. I don't know if she likes horror movies, but I don't know if she likes like crime, dramas or stuff like that.
Yes, she does.
I haven't asked her. I hope not to see her writing notes.
You know what? Not only have I not asked her, I have no plans to ask her.
Yeah.
Every super chat will get acknowledged here on Sam Roberts. Now, that's the rule. Every super chat that you send in gets acknowledged here on Sam Roberts Now. So if there's something that we haven't covered, if there's something that we did cover that you'd like to add to, of course, we'll go back to the beginning and acknowledge every super chat. I also want to let you guys know that there's a new episode of the Satisfying Podcast up with myself and Nicole Biggins. We do cover some Diddy. We talk a little Diddy. We talk about, you heard about this viral hippo?
The little cute baby hippo?
Nicole thought I was insane for not knowing about the hippo. I knew everything about the Costco guys. I had never even heard of this baby hippo.
She put you on.
Yeah, she did put me on. She had a t-shirt. I was like, "What's that t-shirt of?" She's like, "What? You don't know?" And then she let me go through her emails so I could read. She sent nasty emails to her building super or something. And they were just riddled with typos. So she let me go through that. So check out that show over on the Satisfying Podcast YouTube channel. And of course, if you're interested in my thoughts on the Vince McMahon docuseries that's on Netflix, that's on the Notsam Wrestling YouTube channel, which you can go check out. Let's see what you guys are saying. Every super chat gets acknowledged here on Sam Roberts Now. And James Malaspino writes in, "Sammy Hot Dog, y'all know my name by now. I'm a big James Malaspino guy. Please use some of that Not Sam magic and help me impress my girl Trisha with the shout out, bruh. Love you guys. No Diddy. First of all, I'm glad you clarified. Second of all, Trisha, you're a lucky woman. I'll just say that. Six Crow, our financier, the Jeffrey Epstein of this operation. Thank you very, very much.
With the island?
Financier. PHWOFL. Sam, why don't you just admit that you and your wife hate Jim's wife? Admit it. Just kidding. But I would love to know where that guy got his info.
What a psycho.
It was a little scary. It was. I was glad Travis put the kibosh on that when he did. I think that was the right move.
I felt it going from like, okay, let's entertain this and see where it goes, to it getting into like a creepy, weird zone. We're like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah, that's about right. Not Sam Lehman. Oh, not Sam Lehman putting 6 Crow to shame. Look at you.
I ain't never seen that color before.
That's right. I think we might need to buy Hot Dog a power strip with that money. Here you go, Sam. I heard you have to put in extra hours after your big loss. Don't worry, bro. As long as I eat, you eat. Thank you. Of course, not Sam Lehman saving me because the Cincinnati Bengals screwed me over bad. The odds were so much in their favor that I had to put I'm trying to make safe bets. So I put a heavy bet on the Bengals just to make a little bit of money, because I figured I'd rather safely get a little bit of money than dangerously possibly get a more generous sum. And what did the Bengals do? They pissed on me. That's what they did. Hate them.
You're a changed man, bro. You're out here betting. You're going to start a gambling problem.
No.
You're going to gamble the house away.
No, I'm going to get that paper.
On a safe bet, too. That's the most embarrassing part. If you lose the house on a safe bet.
Honey, this one's not my fault. It was a safe bet. It was a safe. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like I gambled the house away, but we could have won an air fryer.
Right.
Johnny ranks 5 big ones for Hot Dog to buy another charger, or as he called it, a wall thing.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wiedenhoff, I met the great Nikki and Jim Norton at Skankfest. Hey! I wore my Not Sam shirt to Kill Tony, and I saw ICP perform. You should have come, Sam. Whoop, whoop. That sounds like, kind of sounds like paradise. Go to Skankfest in a Not Sam shirt, watch Kill Tony, and see the Insane Clown Posse perform. There's literally nothing to criticize about that. It's kind of perfect.
They're not bringing it. I'm guessing it was in Austin this year again?
Vegas. They do it in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Oh, nice.
Lou. Oh, this is actually Lou. That's a great suggestion. She's talking about Diddy, obviously, wondering why Diddy has so much baby oil. Maybe he's frying up the babies.
Again, Diddy is quite literal with his descriptions. So.
Yeah, that's what it's for. B-Herb76, I believe this one's for Hot Dog, F, Marry, Kill.
No, that's not what it said.
R. Kelly, Epstein, or Diddy. He wants to know. Okay. Or you can replace one of them with Angie, the former love of your life who you left behind.
Okay. Let's marry.
Well, first of all, okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
We're going to marry Diddy.
Okay. That's a rough choice, but okay.
These are all rough choices.
That's okay. You're going to marry. Who are you going to F? Who are you going to F?
R. Kelly would bring the jams.
Okay, so you're effing R. Kelly for the jams, and then there's a kill left, right? And it's either Epstein or I told you could replace Epstein with Angie.
Epstein's already dead, so by default we have to go with the poor girl.
Angie, okay. By the way, I'll never get sick of that bit. B-Herb, $1.99. Seriously, pay your electric bill. That was definitely for you.
It's not an electric bill.
Hot dogs.
But thank you.
That sick. What do you want, Venmo or Apple Cash for your $7?
I'll take check.
Okay. Another one from Lou. Hot Dog screwed Sam all night, but I'll still listen. Separate the art from the artist. Yeah, I think that's right. I
agree.
Yeah. And then Vernon H. That Caller Friday was maybe the weirdest one I can remember in a long time. Someone's got to call the FBI for a welfare check. Yeah, I'd rather just be as separated as possible. But I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us this evening. I'm glad we got on and did one of these bad boys. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said bad boys. We can't say that.
Sam.
We can't say that anymore. We can't say that. It is, I'm sorry that we can't do these shows every single week as reliably as we used to. The schedule is what the schedule is, but
we're moguls here.
We are moguls. We got to have freak offs at some point. So that's what we were doing last Friday, but this Friday we're here. Poodle-rific did Jim ever report back about his Lori and Mustard Spatty Daddy? Love you too always, Sam and Hot Dog. No, I would like to know about the products. Jim bought $700 worth of products. I know he returned some of them, but I don't know how
it means.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's gotta be nice. Appreciate you guys hanging out and being with us here this evening. We will see you again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You got 5 styluses. You might as well use them. I'm going to cheers with you later.